It's short for Forum for Women Educationalists. I'm the one who started it, but I managed to get all the women ministers of education in Africa to join me. We met together in Manchester, together with about 40 male ministers, and we formed both ADEA, the Association for Development of Education for Africa, which was for all ministers, male and female, and FAWE, Forum for African Women Educationalists, which was for women ministers of education in Africa.
My name is Irene Mukondo. I've been a member of Fawezi for the past 23 years. I joined Fawezi in 1998 when it was launched at Belvedere Technical Teachers College. I've been with the organization as a very active member, and I've also participated within the executive as the secretary, as the chairperson, and as the current board chair.
We went to Nairobi, I think several times for meetings in order to be able to get on with the Fawezi. But it was basically going to be a forum for African education in Zimbabwe, but with the links in Nairobi as the headquarters.
Fawezi was founded in 1998. Mainly, the focus was on provision of bursary support, that is school fees, uniforms, to enable girls to access education. But over the years, we've also come to realize that it's not only school fees and uniforms that can keep a child in school. So we have had to also structure our programming to address the current needs or emerging issues in education. So other than providing bursary support alone, we have had to come up with demonstrative interventions that help to provide a holistic support in terms of access, retention, and school completion. We ensure that the girl child is empowered through using empowerment models. There is a model that we use that is called Tuseme, Let Us Speak Out, or Tawaronzweke in Shona, where we take children through a 9-stage process of trying to find out some of the issues that affect them during their education, and for them being the ones that come up with the solutions to the challenges that they face. We have also had to look at the teachers themselves, because we have seen that it is important to ensure that the school environment itself is gender responsive, that it meets the needs of the boys and girls within a school system. So that is looking at the social environment itself. Is it gender responsive? Is it addressing the needs of boys? Is it addressing the needs of girls? We've had to look at the academic environment, the teaching methods. Is the teacher gender sensitive? The language used in the classroom, is the teacher really gender sensitive? What kind of comments are they passing to a girl? What kind of comments are they passing to a boy? We have also ventured into looking at access to justice, where we have found that issues of violence continue to be on the increase. And sometimes children do not get access to justice because of simple things. Maybe they can't find transport, maybe they can't find basic resources to use them to get the services that they require, whether it's health services if one is raped. So we have also started looking at how do we chip in terms of ensuring that girls especially get access to justice when they are violated. Additionally, we have also had to come up with interventions around whole school approaches to address school-related gender-based violence. So the violence that happens within school systems or on their way to school.
Let me also say that in addition to the concept of gender-responsive pedagogy, FAWE has also come up with a need for chapters to set up schools of excellence. And schools of excellence are schools which we deem will represent the idea that FAWE has of an ideal school where learners will learn with minimum disturbance in terms of barriers to learning.
Then we've also had to work with our alumni. That is also a success that probably I skipped to say. Around 2013, we gathered the people who benefited from Fawezi directly and indirectly. So our Tuseme initiatives, our bursary support, we looked for those girls and boys who had passed through the system and said we want to start an alumni network. So they came together, came up with their committee, and they continue to do initiatives, whether it's advocacy, giving back to the community, or organizing their own professional development. So that alumni is also one success. Sometimes funding partners say they also want to see the results of Fawezi, what has Fawezi achieved over the years.
Our early years as Fawezi have been very interesting. I remember the first chairperson was Mrs. Saraka Chingwe, and together we worked with other prominent educationalists at that time, including the national coordinator, who was Mrs. Salome Nyoni, who was co-opted from the Ministry of Women Affairs at that time. And the organization was based at Belvedere Technical Teachers College.
I remember very well one person who was very instrumental in trying to get the whole organization going was the late Sarah Kachingwe. And Sarah Kachingwe was the first, I think, black woman who graduated from the University of Zimbabwe. It was still the University of Rhodesia then. She was a very strong woman and a woman who was determined to get an education.
The membership at that time when we started was largely on university professors, women university professors, lecturers, and then later on, as we moved into schools, we realized that we needed the membership of teachers who are on the ground with the learners and who would really give us a better insight into what the girls are faced with, what they are tackling, what issues were giving them problems in their learning.
We decided to give them Fawezi an office at Belvedere. I was at Belvedere now as principal of that college. So we gave them an office and we did not even charge them any money to pay any money. We didn't. We just said Fawezi will operate from Belvedere Technical Teachers College.
So in terms of growth, when I joined Fawezi in 2008, there was a lean secretariat, and as years went by, the secretariat has grown. So that is the first growth that I can talk about. The growth can also be seen also in that we now have projects in different provinces that are being implemented. Recently, we established 2 offices, one in Beitbridge, one in Matobo, where we are also implementing our activities. So in terms of size, that is also something that has happened over the years.
As universities, have we created enough jobs for the country? And the answer is no, we have failed. Why why did our education not train us to create jobs in the country? So then we are a failure. We managed to copy London University, but we failed to create jobs for ourselves. So that's what I see. Our education system has some weaknesses. You know, they keep saying Zimbabwe's English is so good. And it's true, our English is really good. But is that good enough? Can we not say, why are we not all in jobs? Is it good enough that more than half of us don't have jobs? We should be critical of ourselves.
Well, the challenges are still there because quite a number of girls come into higher education when they are already married. They see the importance of education now. But I think within the primary schools, there is still quite a challenge with the girls. Like this lockdown, I was listening to news the other day, somebody said, well, quite a number of girls are no longer interested in going to school. To keep encouraging our girls to get an education. The challenge is still there. Certain objectives were achieved, but I think the education for girls is still one thing that still needs to go on. If we can raise money to let our girls go further with education, it will certainly do a lot of good for this country. Because there are some girls who drop out of school, and some of them will say, well, I don't have any fees at all. But if Fawezi can raise money for these girls to go to school, the better.
I think women, if we are united, if we don't fight each other, we can do a lot. If we are clear, for example, if we were clear that the 70% of girls who only pass 2 or 3 O-levels, we should help them to upgrade to 5 O-levels. If we said that's a policy we want to adopt, and if we were all agreed that the 70% who only get 2 or 3 O-levels, we are going to help them get scholarships to finish the 2 O-levels, I think that would be an example of unity. I think that's the type of unity we need.
If I remember right, one of the things that was very important was education for women. Because we had fewer women, and it was let us promote education for women. In a lot of areas, in education, in nursing, in what, let us promote women and urge women to get an education.
The number of women going to university now is 55% of the total. This is a big change from before independence, when only 24% of the women students at university were women. So I think Fawe and Fawezi have contributed to the increase of girls at primary, secondary and tertiary. I think we are still very poor at polytechnic and technical level and in agricultural colleges. But at university level, women are 55%.